Are you tired of the same boring sports talk shows? Has your hunger for SEC sports yet to be filled? Well, worry no longer. You have arrived in the waiting room with Dr. SEC, where the sports talk is unbiased, refreshing, and impossible to duplicate.
Welcome to the show, Coach Switzer.
Welcome. Thank you. Appreciate being on it.
Well, we're sure excited about having you on the show today, and we're going to talk a little bit of Oklahoma, Alabama football. But before we do that, we want to talk just a little bit about what you're doing with the good folks at All-State this weekend and how our Oklahoma listeners can be a part of that.
Well, let me tell you, we're doing a tailgate party at the Sooner Fashion Mall in Norman, Oklahoma. I'll be there from 1 to 5 o'clock, and I'll be giving away T-shirts, All-State T-shirts, Alabama, Oklahoma T-shirts, and I'll have a raffle every hour, and I will give away 2 tickets to the bowl game. So we'll give it to a total of 10 tickets, 2 every hour, and for the bowl game, and it'll be played January the 2nd, Thursday night in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I plan on being there. I'm going to be at the game and going down on New Year's Eve, and I'll be staying in New Orleans and going to the game that night. Looking forward to it. I was with Bob Stoops the other night and told Bob, I said, boys, with all the draws, you got the unluckiest draw. You got to go play Alabama team that we all know should be in maybe the national championship game again. But you got to play whoever's there, and that's what the Sooners have got to do. And they'll be a big underdog, I'm sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, I was looking over, and, of course, I was a big fan of yours growing up, and I was looking back over your resume, 3 national championships, a Super Bowl ring. Now, let me ask you, there's a lot of rumors going around right now about coaches' salaries, possibly making somewhere between $6 and $10 million next year, depending on where he's at. And if I could get you $6 to $10 million a year, would you be willing to come out of retirement?
Well, I'd come out of retirement and start a autograph signing or campaign the next day to get me fired the second day.
Yes, sir.
No, really, when I coached, I made $24,000 a year. That was the market price for coach. My first salary at Oklahoma. We went undefeated that year, went undefeated the next year, and I was making $24,000 a year. We won, I think, about 38 games in a row, and 2 national championships, 2 undefeated seasons back to back. And I never made more than $26,000 a year, but made a little bit more off my TV shows and my radio shows and all. That's what made it monetary of value to you. And athletic departments put the package together for today for the coaches, go out and sell them on that. But it's a different game, and I'm glad that we're able to make it today. Television dictates it all, and so much money in the athletics today.
The reason I ask you that is I was actually just kind of doing some more research on and just kind of, like I said, pulling up your old resume and touching off, and I came across something called Coach's Cabanas, and
right.
And that is, are you going to do that next year again?
Yes, we hopefully will have Ford as our national sponsor. We're talking with Ford right now. They know what we're doing. They've watched us. They've seen us do the show. They like our concept. Second screenings are becoming more and more prevalent today, especially when people get smart televisions on their walls in their homes.
Yes,
when
sir.
half the screen can be an internet and half of it can be either cable or network, and they can be watching the game, and all of a sudden, if they want to, they can go on the internet and they can see me on the other half of the screen looking at the same game they are, and me commenting and making comments and doing color on the game with a bunch of my ex-players at my home in my cabana with a crowd. It's just like a reality show. It's like having invited someone to come to my house to watch the game with me. And I sit there with a professional, some guy that's a pro that does radio and TV every day and knows the team real well as I do. And we sit there and we tell old stories and visit and talk about the game and talk about more interesting things and who make that tackle, where they're from, and second down and 8, and what are they going to do? You know what I mean? It's a lot of fun. It's just a reality show at my home watching the ball game, which it's been well received.
Well, and I tell you this, you hadn't said anything about it, but I wanted to give a short plug for it because I hadn't heard of it before, and I came across it, and that seemed like
that's the problem. See, that's why you need a national sponsor like Ford. or someone
Yeah.
out there, and we sponsored. They talked about it on game day a couple of times because they got my tweets, and I hashtag coachescabana.com, and they've mentioned that. So, we had one weekend, we had 11.5 million, retweets.
Absolutely, and we want all of our listeners to go to that. I believe it's coachescabana.com. Is that what it is?
That is right. Mm-hmm.
And go to that, and that's just really a cool concept. I can't wait to watch it now that I know about it. Just the idea of being able to see and watch a legend like yourself just talk football in the right. kind of environment just at your home. I mean, that's a really cool thing.
We'll be doing the bowl games this year, but Jack, I think you could go click on Auburn, and you'll get to see Jack Crow, who was coach there, who will be doing the game for Auburn. You'll get a kick out of Jack's show.
Absolutely. And he used to be coach at Jacksonville State, right?
He coached Jacksonville State. He coached Bo Jackson at Auburn. That's why he's doing Auburn. He's
that's it.
Auburn.
That's it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, we want to talk a little bit about the Oklahoma-Alabama game. And one thing typically you got to have to beat an Alabama team coached by Nick Saban is you got to have good quarterback play. And there seems to be a lot of question at the quarterback position right now for Oklahoma because of injuries and different things. How's that looking?
Well, it's big. It is a big question mark. It's been that way all year ever since the season started. When we started the young redshirt freshman to begin the year, Trevor Knight, everyone was surprised. They thought it was going to be Bell. I thought it would be Trevor Knight because I was closer to the program and knew the coaches and I knew what they thought of him. He got injured, and all of a sudden it's Bell's back in there. Then his performance, they allowed Knight to come back and play in a couple of games that he won, and he gets hurt against OSU, and they put the ball in there, and Bell throws a winning touchdown pass. So it's still a big question mark. I don't think you beat Alabama with a 2-quarterback system, but you got to have them, both of them, well. And Trevor Knight has a chance to make some plays running the football because he is a good option quarterback. But Bell Boy is 6'6" and 250, 260, and he can throw the football a little bit better. So obviously you might need both of them, but it's difficult to play 2-quarterback system to beat a team like Alabama.
Absolutely. Now let me ask you, when you look at this Oklahoma team, they've kind of had some inconsistencies. There have been at times they looked like the Oklahoma team that you thought they could be, and then at other times they had the Baylor game where they lose 41-12. And let me kind of ask you, what do you think the keys to this game are?
Well, first of all, we are not a very healthy team right now. We're beat up. We've got a lot of young players playing, starting a lot of freshmen, inexperienced players. So I think we'll be a 3 or 4 touchdown underdog against them. I believe we'll be in the double digits, that we will be obviously the underdog in this ball game. I think that Oklahoma is a kind of a above average football team right now. We're not by Oklahoma standards, a very good football team, but we're competitive. The guys will play hard. Talent-wise is what I'm speaking to. I'm not talking about effort, the way these guys play. They'll give great effort, and they play hard. They always do. They're well coached, but they're not coaching the same players that Saban's coaching. He's got great physical talent on both sides of the ball. People play with their hands on the ground are so talented, so good at Alabama and that league over there. Oklahoma doesn't have that. We've got speed, we've got quickness, we've got backs that can run, we've got skill, but we don't have physicality that they do, and that's difficult to play the game without having that type of physicality.
Now, of course, there's definitely, I think, at least a talent discrepancy there between Alabama and Oklahoma. But we've seen Alabama before, even in this game against Utah a few years ago, just not have they were basically just a quarter away from playing for a national championship, and their heads weren't right in the right place. And they got beat by a very good Utah team. I don't want to take anything away from Utah. But do you think do you think a lot of that's going to play into it if Alabama has the right mindset when they come into the game?
Well, I think Alabama will have the right mindset. But if we're not that type of offense Utah was. We're not. We don't do the things that give you the problem that, we run the football a little bit more than Auburn. We're a rushing football team, and we're an option football team. And then we try to throw the ball a little bit, but we're not that type of program that they are, and obviously offensive structure that they have. So it's I expect it to be Alabama domination, but we can always be surprised.
Yes, sir. And I guess there's a little more hope after you see the way that Auburn run the football against Alabama. And I know Auburn's got I think just a special unit for running the football. Trey Mason's a spectacular running back and definitely worthy of being in the Heisman race and such. But how much success do you think Oklahoma can find running the football?
Well, we're more of a conventional team. Auburn is a system. Their system is probably the best offensive system in the country because I believe in that. I was coaching football again in college. That's what I'd be running. I was a wishbone. I was a triple option football team, and I think that's what the wishbone has evolved to. Is this type of formation and running the option game from it and being able to throw the football from it. But still, at the same time, you got the great option running quarterback, and that's what you have to have in running an Auburn system. You have to have a quarterback that can run the football like I had when I was coaching. And obviously you have speed in your backs, and you have deception, you have misdirection, and you have a lot of things that present problems for defenses and present problems for everybody that's played Auburn, including Alabama.
Thank you. I know, and we know you got a real busy schedule. I want to ask you one more question. Of course, I cover 14 SEC teams, so I don't get as much of a chance. Can you tell us a little bit about this Oklahoma defense?
Well, that's where we're really beat up. We've lost our two starting linebackers, really two good players, Shannon and Nelson, Corey Nelson, middle linebacker. Lost him early in the season, for the season, and those injuries really took from our defense. Our secondary started out the year was really good. We could really run. Our corners were good. We've got good speed. We can run. Our guys can run as fast as Alabama guys. Our skill and speed can. Mm-hmm. But we don't have the physicality of people playing down up front. And that's always the difference when you play defense and offense. The ability to run the ball is not people out of there and smash mouth football. And Alabama is that. They're two tight ends. They come at you. They hammer you. And the play action pass, they have two tight end attack, which makes people don't run that much anymore. You don't see people come out with two tight ends with two flankers and make you play 4 deep and 7 people in the box. They get man on man, and they combo block real well. And they block to the second level with their tight ends. Next thing you know, the tailback is going downhill at you and just hammering away. And they do run some misdirection, and their quarterback is really good throwing play-action passes and throw the ball real well. And they beat you just being patient and physically dominate you with their great defense. So defensively, that's where they just shut people down. And I hopefully they can, but that's what I expect them to do against Oklahoma.
Yes, sir. Well, we want to remind everybody once again that they can come and see you. You'll be there from 1 to 5, but the All-State team will be there from 12 to 5.
And giving out tickets and giving out T-shirts. So come on out, Sooner fans, and let's have a good time together tomorrow at Sooner Fashion Mall. All-State a tailgate party at Sooner Mall Fashion Mall.
All right, and one more plug-in we want to give us that coachescabanas.com. We want to encourage all of you to go there. And I'm going to tell you, just watch the quick video that they have on YouTube on it. And, Coach, it got me excited. I'm going to watch you on there next season.
All right, buddy. Take care, and I appreciate it.
Thank you for being on the show.
Oh, thank you, sir. Bye-bye.